The night of the fight, they weigh like a 20, 18 pounds more than you. Is difficult. It's more difficult, but my power is there. If you hear the punches, my power is different.
Yeah.
Going up 2 weight classes, really like 3. And early, I feel Terence will have great success. I mean, maybe he'll get Canelo's head snapped back or, catch Canelo early.
Great fighters, but I think Canelo's just too big, and they mistake him as being just a guy at 168, not a regular guy, and Crawford being the more talented. But that's not the case.
Canelo has crushed giants. Crawford has never lost. Now the whole world is watching strength versus skill, pride versus destiny. This fight will change boxing forever. Canelo Alvarez has finally responded to Terence Crawford's new training footage. With calm respect, Canelo admits Crawford's style has shades of Floyd Mayweather's slick movement and discipline. Still, Canelo remains confident. He makes it clear that while Crawford is skilled and powerful, it won't be enough to shake him. With determination, Canelo promises he will dominate once again and prove why he's still on top.
Good, because first of all is the respect. If they treat you with respect, you do the same thing. That's what I think. So, and I'm always try to do my best there. Not because I need it or because I need to, because I really appreciate everything.
Yeah, look, and you've been fighting pro now for what, more than 17 years, I believe.
Almost 20.
Wow, yeah, almost 20 years.
In October.
Wow.
I turned 20 years as professional fighter.
Experts point out a big difference between how fighters face Crawford and how they face Canelo. Against Crawford, opponents respect his timing and counter-punching, but they still stand their ground. With Canelo, it's different. Fighters often circle around, run, and focus on surviving, knowing that one clean power punch from him can change everything. This shows Canelo's reputation as a dangerous fighter. His shots carry not only power but also fear, making opponents nervous before the first punch even lands. That's why this matchup is so exciting. Crawford thrives when opponents engage, while Canelo thrives when his pressure and power break their spirit.
I ain't even seen Gamboa run from Terence. As a matter of fact, I ain't even seen Victor Postal run from Terence. We ain't seen Madrimov in his last fight run from Terence Bud Crawford. But we do see people running away from Canelo Alvarez. People not trying to commit to Canelo Alvarez. We seen it with William Skull. Dude was just as cut up as anybody in the sport of boxing. Mother ever was running. The Cuban style, running. We already know that the Cuban school, man, they highly respected in the sport of boxing. He was running. Jamel Charlo, Iron Man Charlo. I ain't gonna say he wasn't running, but he wasn't committed. He wasn't committed the way that he was committed in the 154-pound division when he was knocking everybody else to get his titles, right? It was very uncharacteristic from Iron Man Jamel Charlo, a knockout artist, right? I'm gonna tell you like this, even Dimitri Bivol was going at it with Canelo Alvarez. 1-2, but he was jumping right back out. Jumping right back out. He beat him in the style that Dimitri Bivol beat him. But it's not like he went out there and had that killer instinct and go for the gusto and stuff like that with Canelo Alvarez. He wasn't just trying to go out there and get him. He was beep, 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 jump back out, jump back out, beep, beep, jump back out. Hold on, I don't want to stay in the danger zone, right? Even though that he beat Canelo Alvarez, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Edgar Berlanga. We see Edgar Berlanga using his footwork. We see Edgar Berlanga using his footwork and stuff like that, right? He made a good account of himself, but he didn't commit that the way he was committing versus Mantequilla and all his opponents, because Canelo Alvarez is different. Canelo Alvarez is dangerous. I've been hearing, of course, a lot of people saying that Bud Crawford is dangerous, but ain't nobody. I never saw nobody that fought Terence Bud Crawford had fear in their heart, fear in their eyes. Even when they was getting beat down from Terence Bud Crawford, they still stepped to Terence Bud Crawford.
Canelo's sparring partners, who have felt his punches up close, are not convinced Crawford can handle the jump and weight. One sparring partner said flat out that Bud won't carry the extra weight well. Canelo has already fought and beaten bigger men, even at light heavyweight. Crawford, on the other hand, is moving into new territory. More weight might give him power, but it could also slow him down. For a fighter who depends on speed and precision, that risk is dangerous. They believe Canelo's strength and experience at higher weights may be too much for Crawford to handle.
I think Canelo's gonna win, but I tell everybody, man, as a business standpoint, I think it's gonna be a draw if it goes the distance. But I see Canelo getting the stoppage. I don't think Crawford's gonna carry that weight well. Even if he did put on weight, I don't think that was a good idea, especially coming up from a smaller guy. But it's gonna be a great fight. Two brains in the ring. It's gonna be a good fight.
Mexican legend Fernando Vargas made his stance clear. Mexico needs Canelo Alvarez to win. For Vargas, Canelo is more than a fighter, he's a national icon who carries the pride of Mexican boxing, following the legacy of Julio Cesar Chavez and other greats. Vargas respects Crawford's talent but says the emotions are bigger than just skills. Mexico wants its champion to stand tall on the biggest stage. For Vargas, this fight is about honor and pride, not just victory.
You know what's crazy is, I'm a big Crawford fan as well. Like, every time he sees me and my brothers and my dad at fights, he comes out of his way, shakes our hand. It's all respect. But I just feel the weight's a little too much, Marcos. I feel going up 2 weight classes really like 3. And early, I feel Terence will have great success. I mean, maybe he'll get Canelo's head snapped back or, catch Canelo early. Maybe I could see Terence Crawford go southpaw because you see Canelo has had a bit of problems with southpaws. You could see Canelo, I could see him getting frustrated, picking him up like how he does, like when he gets frustrated. But I say 6th, 7th, 8th round on up, I think he'll figure him out. And we need Canelo to get a stoppage, if not get a get a knockout. I think it'll be great for Mexico and it'll be great for Razas. But I got Canelo, coming out with the victory.
Many believed moving up in weight would be too much for Crawford, but his recent training footage has changed minds. Bud looks stronger, faster, and sharper than ever. His added muscle hasn't slowed him down, instead, it's made him look even more explosive. Quick footwork, powerful combinations, and discipline have made Crawford's transformation impressive. Instead of looking undersized, he now looks like a man ready for the challenge. This has turned the narrative from doubt to excitement.
Pounds, right? And again, stark contrast to what Terence Crawford is having to deal with. He is fighting guys, and when I say cutting down from 190, probably in the ring at 190 pounds, much less cutting down from it. Crawford's probably used to being hit by guys like Sean Porter, who, maybe 160 pounds on fight night. The difference is just night and day. So I was thinking, how in God's name are you going to get around that? How are you going to get around the strength disadvantage? Because Crawford is very physically strong. And he normally always has, maybe with the exception of Sean Porter, although that was kind of much of a muchness. Sean Porter did really well that fight. He's normally always had the physical strength advantage. Very physically strong as Terence Crawford. And I just remember thinking, how are you going to get around that? You're used to hitting guys and they get hurt. Alvarez has been hit by Danny Jacobs. He's been hit by Triple G. He's been hit by Bivol, Kovalev, Callum Smith, etc., etc., etc. Big punching guys who are a lot bigger than Terence Crawford. Granted, not skillful, a lot bigger. So again, I'm thinking, how are you going to get around this? Well, Crawford has released a couple of training clips, and in those training clips, yikes, he's looking good for one. He's looking a lot better than Canelo was looking in some of his training clips. But again, you can't read a great deal into those training clips because, again, Alvarez is clearly holding back. People say, oh, he looked terrible. It's like, well, you can kind of tell he's not going full tilt. You can kind of tell that. So what does that tell you? How many times have we seen guys look good on the pads and then on fight night they've nothing left? I distinctly remember Alexander Povetkin in the run-up to the second Dillian Whyte fight in an open workout.
Amir Khan, who fought both Canelo and Crawford, gave his insight. Khan called Canelo a beast, highlighting his strength, toughness, and ability to take punishment while delivering dangerous counters. He knows Canelo's power firsthand from their 2016 fight. But Khan also respects Crawford's skills, since Bud stopped him in 2019. In the end, Khan believes Canelo's size and physical dominance give him an edge. Even the most talented fighters, he says, can't ignore the danger Canelo brings.
And you've been in there with Canelo, you've been there with all the best.
Beast, man. I fought Canelo at his peak. You know what I'm saying? And Canelo's
beast, and he's a great man. He's a good family man as well. Got a lot of respect for him. I like him, you know, we've always had mutual respect for each other. And he still has a picture of me and him in his front room. I saw on a documentary because he really thought that was one of his biggest fights, like with the hype that I had and all that. So yeah, man, it was good times.
And then when people see that fight back, you're winning those early rounds.
I mean, look, it's boxing for a 12-round fight. You know, I mean, even though I won them early rounds, he caught me with a good shot. He had the power, he had the strength. I mean, he was so big. I remember thinking, this is easy. I can hit him when I want. But then obviously, I knew that when he hit me with a couple of them body shots and he hit me with them shots, I was like thinking, this guy can hit hard.
Fans do have one concern. They hope this fight doesn't become another Mayweather versus Pacquiao, a super fight that disappointed many because of its cautious pace. Both Canelo and Crawford know how dangerous the other is, which could make them too careful. If Crawford avoids big exchanges and Canelo slows things down to avoid counters, the fight might lack fireworks. The question is, will they take risks, or will respect for each other's skills hold them back?
Boxing is hanging on a thread. If Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford pulls a Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather, there's no turning back. In this side of the pond, boxing is dead. Look, a lot of things is going to Saudi Arabia. David Benavidez, one of the phenoms in the sport of boxing, going to be performing in Saudi Arabia. Devin Haney going to be performing in Saudi Arabia. Just put this. Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz, if it would have came to fruition, was going to happen in Saudi Arabia. Boots Ennis and Tio could have happened in Saudi Arabia. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia was going to happen in Saudi Arabia. So a lot of these big fight that it was planned was not going to be here. It's not going to be here. So for networks to trust the sport of boxing once again, this fight between Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, whoever you pick, whoever you support, is more than just wins and losses. It doesn't matter. The fight has to win. Doesn't matter if Canelo Alvarez, doesn't matter if Terence Crawford win, lose. The fight has to win. Just like when it was Hagler versus Hearns on a Monday, prime time. Prime time. That was a fight on a Monday, prime time, free TV. They put up a wonderful performance to this day. People still remember, and it was only 3 rounds. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, they better show out and entertain.
Analyst Elam made one thing clear: at the elite level, skill alone is not enough. Durability, toughness, and experience against power punchers matter just as much. Canelo has already proven himself against bigger men in multiple weight classes, from light middleweight to light heavyweight. Crawford, however, has never faced this kind of challenge before. The unknown factor is how he will react when Canelo lands clean. In fights like this, one punch can change everything. Canelo's comfort at this level may be his biggest advantage, making Crawford's challenge even tougher.
Crawford has to box and not care to want a crowd please. He has to stick and move. If he sits there too long with Canelo, I think Canelo, his defense is great. He'll be able to withstand it and take him in deep waters and win the fight.
Besides being a boxing coach, you're an expert in strength and conditioning.
Yes, sir.
Crawford never fought more than 154. Mm-hmm. Do you think bulking up, obviously he's bulking up, we're seeing the picture, he's moving up from 147, 54, 60, 68, he's going to gain 15, 20, 30 pounds.
For sure.
Will that slow him down by around 5, 6, 7? The heart, the muscle, the oxygen you take. I mean, if your body's not used to fighting it at that size, it doesn't not make a difference.
It depends on what type of strength and conditioning you're doing too, though. So when you do explosive stuff and things like that, plyometrics is different. But he has to bulk up, so he has to lift a little bit of weight. I'm pretty sure he has people with the knowledge and the proper money that he has to get the right people to do the right things.